There are broadly 8 types of endings commonly experienced at the end of the consumer life cycle. These happen across service, digital and product sectors. The first one's timeout. It's a timeout ending. We commonly experience this with things like holidays. It's been a scheduled time, so 2-week holiday will end in 2 weeks. Or you might get that with education things, so you've got a 3-year degree course, for example. But we also have it with things like sell by or consume by dates in physical products in food. The second one is exhaustion, or credit out, sometimes you can call it. And you can think of that in terms of how you've saved up for things like pay-as-you-go on telephone charges. So once that's exhausted, then that's the end of that service. But we see it also in physical products with batteries. Once that's exhausted, it's the end of the relationship. The third sector is task event completion. So you get that if you've booked in a task, for example, sending a parcel is a good example. Once that has been completed, the task event has been ended. The fourth section is broken or withdrawal. And we see this with things like physical products being extended over their capability and then they break. But you can see it also if a digital product company like a startup fails, goes bust, that's the end of that digital relationship. Number 5 is lingering. And we have this with products that we've forgotten about. A good example is products at the back of your cupboard, clothes that you've forgotten about. But we also see it with services where you've been paying into a pension, you start to forget about it, or subscription services that you forget about and only discover in your bank account that you're paying out for. Number 6 is proximity. Once you move out of the distribution area of one company or service, then you're outside of that proximity. For example, if I move from one country to another, I'm outside of the BBC's distribution, outside of their proximity. But you can also get it with digital products. So if I move from Apple to Android, I move outside of the proximity of Apple once I've moved to Android. The seventh type is cultural. Now you get this with fashion, so trends change culturally, but we also just get it more with politics as well, where we might experience a company that we dislike their political views of the way they operate, and then we want to end that relationship. And lastly, we have competition. Competition is talked about all over the place. Thousands of books, hundreds of conferences all talk about competitive endings at the end of the consumer life cycle. We forget all of the other sections. And this is when a consumer goes to buy something else because it's better, faster, more productive, etc. So those are the common 8 types of endings consumers experience at the end of the consumer life cycle. Just a quick recap: timeout, exhaustion, task event completion, broken withdrawal, lingering, proximity, cultural, competition. Thanks so very much. Goodbye.